The moment has arrived. Every challenge in your journey has been preparing you for this precise instant. Now, nothing can prevent what's destined for you. Your presence here isn't coincidental. It's by divine design. This message resonates not with all, but with the select few who have reached true readiness. If these words have found you, you've transcended the subtle boundary between anticipation and manifestation. A profound revelation awaits you. Once witnessed, it becomes an indelible part of your consciousness. Once embraced, there's no returning to who you were. This is the culmination you've been unconsciously progressing toward throughout your existence. Whether conscious or not, you've already embraced this path, and its unfolding won't be marked by grandeur. It will emerge silently on what appears to be an unremarkable day. Society fixates on momentous dates, spectacular occurrences, and sensational headlines proclaiming transformation. But therein lies the deception. These are mere diversions. True pivotal moments arrive unannounced. They masquerade as ordinary instances, yet for those in alignment, they possess the power to revolutionize everything. That's why this message before you isn't happenstance. It's a gateway. Within mere hours, its significance will intensify, potentially triggering an internal transformation. An awakening, an insight, an opportunity previously hidden from view. By daybreak, what seemed an impenetrable barrier might dissolve completely. This isn't a cautionary tale, it's an awakening. The kind that manifests only when you're prepared to embrace your destiny. But before this unfolds, there's crucial wisdom to grasp. Miss it, and this opportunity might never surface again. Your life's journey has been intentional. Each obstacle, postponement, and disappointment carried concealed significance. The universe has been molding you for this precise moment, long before your awareness dawned. While you questioned the necessity of such hardship, you were being transformed into someone capable of bearing what others cannot. Your challenges weren't punishment, they were divine preparation. Each time you felt pushed to your limits, you were expanding into greater potential. Every blocked path, every betrayal, every restless night was part of a greater blueprint. Your suffering wasn't futile. It was preparation. Now, all these trials are converging. What seemed like endless waiting was building toward this moment. This is the culmination. The signal you've awaited has arrived. Have you pondered why your journey seemed more challenging than others? Why ease eluded you while others appeared to glide through life effortlessly? It's because mediocrity was never your destiny. Common paths couldn't lead to an extraordinary destination. Each rejection wasn't failure, but redirection toward your true purpose. Each setback you endured was creating space for something more magnificent. Those moments of solitude, the uncertainty that trailed you like a constant companion, these weren't curses bestowed upon you. They were honing your perceptiveness, compelling you to detect what remained invisible to others. You weren't being demolished. You were being reconstructed. Consider the journey of a diamond. Initially, it exists merely as dark carbon concealed in Earth's depths. Only through intense pressure and heat does it transform into something invaluable. That's your story. Every burden you've shouldered was necessary pressure. Every challenge was refining fire. And now, after all you've endured, you're prepared to radiate brilliance in your destined way. You've invested countless seasons in waiting. Today marks the end of justifications. How frequently have you consoled yourself with "I'll begin when the moment feels right. I'll act when I receive clear guidance." That's the illusion. Anticipating the perfect signal is the universe's most ingenious delay tactic. It's kept you trapped in an endless cycle of hesitation. The reality is, your sign was never meant to be spectacular celestial displays or mystical interventions. It was always destined to be understated, ordinary. That's why this day holds significance, because nothing extraordinary is occurring. No cosmic phenomenon to shelter behind, no drama to divert your attention, just a regular day indistinguishable from others. Yet therein lies its brilliance. This is when the universe strips away all distractions, clears your schedule, and positions you face to face with your authentic self. No more postponements. No more tomorrow promises. The stage stands vacant, awaiting your entrance. Reflect on all those moments you yearned for clarity, those countless nights you pleaded for the right timing. You anticipated it arriving with grandeur, but perhaps the true test was recognizing opportunity when it presented itself in silence. The unremarkable day you've awaited is your destined platform for brilliance. The season of waiting has concluded. That chapter is complete. The waiting period was your preparation. The holding pattern was your training ground. Now, only transformative action remains, and this action isn't scheduled for tomorrow. It commences the instant you decide waiting no longer defines your narrative. Every chosen individual eventually discovers this fundamental truth. Your strength doesn't emerge from following predetermined scripts. It manifests when you dare to rewrite them. Observe your surroundings. Most exist on autopilot, accepting prescribed realities. They move with the collective, never questioning the authenticity of their path. But that existence wasn't meant for you. You weren't created to conform. You were designed to transform. The chosen ones aren't here to echo the world's sentiments. They're here to challenge its foundations. Consider this deeply. Throughout history, every monumental change began with someone brave enough to question, what if everyone else is wrong? It was the nonconformists who challenged established norms, who rejected the status quo, who stepped away from the safety of consensus. Each time you've done this in your own journey, regardless of scale, you've been preparing for this pivotal moment. Perhaps you were the voice that pierced through collective silence. Perhaps you were the one who distanced yourself from a group others desperately sought to join. Perhaps you chose the challenging path because your inner wisdom whispered of greater possibilities. These choices may have cost you connections, position, ease, but that's because ease was never your destiny. Truth was your calling. Your resistance to following the masses wasn't defiance. It was awakening. Awakening to your unique vision. Awakening to the understanding that conformity meant self-erasure. Awakening to the reality that silence amidst deception is participation. And you were never meant to participate. You were meant to challenge. Here's your invitation. Transform your dissent from inconvenience to inspiration. When your spirit rebels against conventional wisdom, don't suppress it. That's not resistance. That's direction. It's your internal compass guiding you toward your authentic path. Examine the small certainties you've never questioned. The patterns you perpetuate simply because they're familiar. The inherited beliefs you've never authenticated as your own. What possibilities emerge when you challenge one of these today? What transforms when you abandon prescribed nutrition habits? Release society's definition of achievement you never chose. Break free from the rhythms that entrap others. Contrarian thinking isn't about opposition for its own sake. It's about realigning with truths others fear to confront. That discomfort you experience when challenging norms isn't a warning signal. It's confirmation you're approaching something significant. The majority consistently chooses comfort, and comfort is destiny's adversary. This explains why your journey has often felt solitary. The chosen ones invariably find themselves on paths others avoid. Not because of deficiency, but because you're being guided ahead of the collective. And as you progress further, the voices behind will label you irrational, impulsive, misguided. That's acceptable. Let them judge. The same society that ridicules the contrarian today will express gratitude tomorrow when truth emerges. Here's the essential truth you must embrace. The world doesn't require your conformity. It needs your defiance, not thoughtless rebellion, but purposeful resistance, the courage to question everything, the strength to walk away from falsehood, the courage to bear the weight of being misunderstood stems from a profound realization. Understanding was never the destination. Impact was. Perhaps this explains your presence here now. You've reached that critical point where maintaining silence extracts a higher price than speaking up, where conformity would mean betraying your essence. The choice no longer oscillates between invisibility and visibility. It's evolved into choosing between living authentically or living a facade. Power doesn't emerge from agreement. It manifests in that pivotal moment when you finally summon the courage to voice your dissent, Tomorrow holds one decisive action that will trigger an unstoppable sequence. This is what distinguishes the chosen from the masses. Most individuals remain trapped in mental cycles, crafting plans, nurturing dreams, waiting for perfect conditions to materialize. They confuse intention with progress. But universal laws don't reward good intentions. They respond to decisive action. Every significant transformation in history, every pivotal moment in destiny materialized because someone took action on what appeared to be an unremarkable day. This paradox eludes most. They anticipate greatness to emerge during grand moments under intense scrutiny. Instead, the most powerful chain reactions originate in quietude, on unexpected days. Days identical to tomorrow. Days when the majority dismisses opportunity and retreats into familiar patterns. A single decision made in solitude can resonate more powerfully than countless fearful deliberations. Consider a solitary domino. It appears insignificant, perhaps even fragile in isolation. Yet its fall initiates a cascade that can demolish barriers, forge new paths, and catalyze the seemingly impossible. That's tomorrow's significance. The initial domino, an action others might dismiss but represents your catalyst for transformation. It might manifest as embracing what you've historically rejected, finally expressing a long-suppressed truth, or simply deciding to transition from contemplation to action. The specific action holds less significance than the act of initiating it, because the chosen one's energy doesn't originate from thought. It springs from momentum. This distinguishes the forgotten from the remembered. The forgotten remained in waiting. The remembered took action. When you act, the universe doesn't merely observe, it responds. Previously invisible opportunities materialize. Conversations manifest at crucial moments. Lost connections resurface, and circumstances align as though they were awaiting your initiative. This is the chain reaction. The unspoken law. Reality bends toward those bold enough to initiate change. As tomorrow approaches, recognize the magnitude of your choice. It transcends being merely another day marked off. It represents the moment the first domino descends, and the cascade begins. Once initiated, its progression becomes unstoppable. There comes a moment when you cease searching for an identity and rediscover your inherent truth. Society has conditioned you to wear various masks throughout your existence. Since childhood, you learned to suppress pain behind smiles, to acquiesce when your heart disagreed, to diminish your presence for harmony's sake. You've been handed predetermined narratives about achievement, joy, and romance. Scripts that were foreign to your essence, yet you performed them dutifully. Perhaps you even momentarily believed in these borrowed personas. But in your core, you recognized the dissonance. You always did. The revelation lies in understanding that conformity was never your destiny. You weren't created to fit within conventional boundaries. The chosen ones consistently exist on society's periphery. The nonconformists, the square pegs in round holes, perpetually sensing their otherness. For years, you mistook this distinction for imperfection. But consider this. What if your perceived flaw was actually evidence of your divine selection? Your uniqueness wasn't a burden to bear, but a blessing to embrace. Now, the accumulated layers of social programming are dissolving. The paralyzing fear that silenced you is evaporating. The self-doubt that questioned your authentic voice is losing its hold. What's emerging isn't a reinvention, but a remembrance. The purest version of yourself that existed before external influences shaped your identity. This explains your heightened gifts, your sharpened intuition, your crystalline clarity of purpose. The universe has been methodically stripping away falsehoods, allowing your authentic self to emerge. This journey isn't about transformation but recognition, acknowledging an ancient presence within, an eternal essence that has patiently waited for its moment of emergence. Authenticity doesn't require addition but subtraction, removing the borrowed beliefs and behaviors that never truly belong to you. This is your unveiling. When the curtain rises, your path won't mirror others because it was designed to be distinct. Your unique perspectives, your emotional depth, your prophetic insights, These aren't burdens anymore. They're divine signals, sacred callings, confirmation that you're ready to exchange hiding for radiating. This unveiling unfolds quietly, without spectacle. It manifests as an internal certainty, a steady heartbeat whispering, "This is my truth, my essence." When you fully embrace this authenticity, the world naturally realigns around you. Because when a chosen one steps into their power, the universe must acknowledge their presence. Control is an illusion that keeps us bound. True power lies in alignment. One of the most challenging lessons for the chosen ones involves surrendering their grip on life's steering wheel, their knuckles white from the effort of maintaining control. You might believe that releasing control will cause everything to crumble, but here's the profound reality. The tighter you clutch at outcomes, the more resistance you generate. This resistance becomes the very force that keeps you stagnant. Embracing the process isn't about surrendering from a place of weakness, but from a position of profound understanding. It's recognizing that apparent delay is often aligned with divine timing. What seems like an unwanted deviation frequently serves as a necessary course correction, and those moments that feel like defeats are actually preparing you for something far greater than your mind could have conceived. These perceived setbacks aren't punishments, they're preparations for your elevation. Reflect on the various seasons you've weathered. Remember those moments when doors abruptly sealed shut, leaving you gasping for air. When relationships dissolved into memories. When promising opportunities vanished like morning mist. When elements you deemed essential were gently removed from your grasp. In those moments, the pain felt almost insurmountable, bordering on cruel. Yet, with the clarity of hindsight, the pattern becomes evident. Each conclusion was methodically clearing space for something more resonant, more aligned with your true path. Trusting the process means understanding that you weren't designed to shoulder the entire burden of your destiny alone. You're in a divine partnership with the universe. Your role is simply to take the inspired action directly before you. The universe's role is to shift the immovable obstacles in your path. Yet too often, chosen ones deplete themselves attempting to move mountains instead of taking the single step that awaits them. Focus on your step. The path will unfold naturally. Picture yourself navigating through dense morning fog. Your visibility extends only a few feet ahead. The path's twists remain hidden, the destination unclear. Yet with each forward step, more of the journey reveals itself. This is the process in motion. The fog dissipates only through movement. Here's where trust becomes paramount. Trust isn't about remaining stationary or endless waiting. It's about advancing with conviction, despite limited visibility. Remember, you don't need to visualize the entire staircase to begin your ascent. You only need faith that each step guides you toward your destined path. This reveals the beautiful paradox of surrender. By releasing control, you actually gain authentic power. True power isn't about forcing outcomes. It's about harmonizing with them. When you flow with life's current instead of fighting against it, you transform from a victim of chaos into a co-creator of destiny. Trust becomes your most potent action. So release your tension, loosen your grip, and step confidently into the uncertainty. The path already exists, patiently awaiting your trust. You were never powerless. You were simply waiting to remember your inherent strength. Every chosen one has experienced seasons of silence where their inner flame seemed to dim, almost forgotten. Not because it was absent, but because it was being safeguarded, preserved until the moment you would be prepared to embrace it completely. That moment is no longer a distant dream. That moment is here. Your inner power isn't something bestowed upon you from external sources. It isn't inherited through authority. It doesn't depend on accolades, and it isn't validated by recognition. It has been intrinsically woven into your being from the start, embedded within your very essence. Consider it as an ancient seed buried in the depths of your soul's soil, awaiting the perfect conditions to emerge. That seed has been nourished by your challenges, warmed by your determination, and strengthened by every tempest you've endured. And today, it begins to break free. Power doesn't arrive. It awakens. This awakening doesn't announce itself with fanfare or dramatic displays. It manifests in subtle yet unmistakable ways. You might notice patterns emerging, meaningful numbers, recurring symbols, serendipitous encounters that seem too perfectly orchestrated to be mere chance. Your intuitive abilities begin to sharpen, speaking with greater clarity and resonance than before. Creative inspiration flows effortlessly, ideas emerging during moments of quiet contemplation, insights arriving as if whispered by the cosmos itself. These aren't random occurrences. These are confirmations. They signal your energy's transformation from dormant to dynamic, from concealed to manifest. You're no longer a vessel awaiting fulfillment. You are abundant, and when the chosen ones overflow, reality shifts. Yet here lies a truth often overlooked. This power isn't solely for your benefit. It was never intended to be contained or hidden away. The chosen carry their strength not as a symbol of superiority, but as a beacon of light, a beacon that illuminates the path for others navigating through darkness, a beacon that awakens dormant potential in those around you, inspiring them to embrace their own awakening. Your power isn't a tool of dominance. It is a guiding light. And with this power comes sacred responsibility. The responsibility to transcend personal gain, the responsibility to utilize your voice, your intuition, your creativity, not to control, but to uplift. Because when you act in alignment, the impact extends beyond your immediate perception. A single word, action, or choice can alter not only your trajectory, but the paths of countless others connected to you through invisible threads of destiny. This is the awakening of your inner power. It doesn't render you invincible. It makes you undeniable. It doesn't isolate you from the world. It connects you to it with profound purpose. It doesn't inflate your ego. It awakens your soul. You aren't here to tower above others. You're here to rise so others remember their own capacity for elevation. And as this power stirs within you, recognize its true nature, the echo of your authentic self finally breaking through. The part of you that has always known you were chosen, now refusing to remain silent any longer. Anyone can initiate change when the calendar marks a new year, or when the moon hangs full and bright. But the chosen ones, they're different. They possess the power to transform their entire existence on an unremarkable Saturday afternoon, and that's what distinguishes them from the rest. Consider this truth. Society conditions us to await special moments. Our calendars overflow with significant dates, holidays that demand celebration, milestones that command attention, cosmic events that promise transformation, anniversaries that warrant remembrance. People grasp these moments desperately, believing that meaningful change requires perfect timing. That transformation only validates itself beneath fireworks or lunar spectacles. But for the chosen ones, destiny follows a different rhythm. The chosen move with their own cadence. They don't seek permission slips from the universe. They don't wait for cosmic signals or global celebrations to declare, "Now is the time." Instead, they take what appears mundane, unremarkable, perhaps even invisible to the common eye, and transform it into the pivot point where everything shifts. True greatness doesn't require an elaborate stage. It crafts its own platform, even in complete silence. Picture this future moment. Someone gazes at you, curiosity dancing in their eyes, and asks, "When did everything change for you? When did life begin flowing in your direction?" Your response won't reference a grandiose celebration. You won't mention New Year's Eve, a celestial alignment, or a festive occasion. You'll simply state, "It was an ordinary Saturday, nothing remarkable about it, except that's when I made my decision." This response will perplex them because they've been programmed to believe transformation requires spectacle. They've absorbed the notion that change only matters when witnessed by the world. But you'll understand the profound truth. It's precisely the day's ordinariness that made it extraordinary. The universe delights in concealing its greatest treasures in plain sight. The chosen ones don't await perfect conditions. They alchemize perfect moments from imperfect circumstances. The power of an ordinary day lies in its stealth. It catches everyone off guard, including yourself. That's what makes the breakthrough authentic. It isn't orchestrated. It isn't rehearsed. It isn't calculated. It's genuine. It's unfiltered. It's life speaking directly through you. In that moment, you transition from spectator to creator. You seize control while the world slumbers in the passenger seat. You realize you don't need external fireworks. You are the flame itself. You don't need formal invitations. You are the celebration. Embrace this timing. Take pride that your breakthrough doesn't require calendar validation or crowd approval. It happens here. It manifests now, on a day so deceptively normal that others might perceive nothing significant. But for you, it becomes the pivotal moment where your narrative changes course forever. Looking back, you won't see just another Saturday. You'll witness the day ordinary circumstances cracked open to reveal your extraordinary essence. You are not behind. You are not late. You are precisely where you need to be. Every path you've traversed, each unexpected turn, every moment of heartache, and those countless nights questioning your journey's purpose, none of it was futile. It was all preparation. While caught in life's tempests, you might have missed how each storm was sculpting you. In moments of profound silence, you may not have recognized how your ears were being attuned to discern truth amidst chaos. During periods of waiting, you might have resisted, unaware that patience was being woven into your character, strengthening you for the weight of your impending destiny. Each experience, setback, and postponement has been meticulously orchestrated, moving you toward this precise moment. Those battles that threatened to shatter you were actually tempering your spirit. The rejections that appeared as roadblocks were divine redirections, guiding you toward your authentic path. That overwhelming solitude you once endured was actually honing your self-awareness, ensuring that when the moment arrived, you would stand firmly in your truth. And now, that moment has dawned. This is no longer the season of preparation and waiting. You have entered the season of divine activation. Stop searching for additional signs. Release the persistent doubts about your readiness. The truth resonates clearly. You've been prepared all along. Life has systematically stripped away your perceived necessities, revealing the inherent treasures within. Your unwavering resilience, boundless courage, crystal clarity, and inner fire. You are the very answer to the questions you've been asking. The world beckons for your presence now, not some future iteration of yourself, not the flawless, refined version you imagine becoming someday. The world needs you exactly as you are today, because the chosen ones are never called when convenience aligns. They are summoned when necessity demands. Right now, your presence, your voice, your radiance, your courage, all of it is essential. Your destiny isn't awaiting perfection. It awaits your decision. This is your moment of choice. If you've stayed until now, I extend my gratitude for your attention. Should this content resonate with you and you desire more, consider subscribing. Your support means everything. Please share your journey and thoughts in the comments below. Until we meet again, take care and remember to subscribe for more enlightening content.